Good morning, this is Robin Bieber on Chart Talk on the 11th of May at 6:50 in the morning London time. The chart in front of us is July Brent 60-minute. The market did pretty well on Friday and is suggestive of higher numbers. However, one or two key resistance pivots need to be taken out. It's worth noting that the resistance is light on Brent and RBOB, and RBOB in particular must get over 96.48 to greenlight some further and possibly even prolonged strength. But at the moment, we'll just take each contract by contract. And if we look at July Brent 60-minute here, it's suggestive of an early dip back, which given the gains posted on Friday night is not altogether surprising. So don't be too concerned about a dip back this morning. And this would be, it's being supported, this view, by RBOB, the June RBOB 60-minute. It's looking a little bit toppy, and I wouldn't be surprised to see softer numbers into the London morning. However, so long as the 5-day moving averages hold, and they all held to virtually to the cent on Friday, except on heat, which went through the 5 to the 8 and then proceeded to put on 622 points. So not a shabby performance really. And this is classic uptrend. Holding the 5 days is great because it maintains momentum higher. So long as the 8-day holds, the uptrend is intact. So the 5s are the momentum indicator, which are part of the uptrend, but the 8s are the key. We must not move and close below the 8s. But if we move below the 5s today, it's indicative of a little bit of a correction back. But if the 8s are taken out, that would be a problem. So let's have a look at each contract. And WTI is the one that has the most notable resistance above the market, which must be navigated safely for any upside. And here's the resistance. The resistance starts at 25.17, the 61.8% correction point of the significant move, 65.65 down to minus 40.32. We cannot ignore a contract just because it went negative. Now, in order to get some upside, we need to get over 25.17, which as you can see has been a bit of a problem, and then take out 25.89, and it would look even better if it could take out 26.05, the 2016 low. The 26.05 level was the target on the way down, and now it must be moved over for us to have some upside, serious upside potential. So WTI's got a task in front of it, 25.17, 25.89, 26.05. But if it can take out 26.05, it's got upside to 28.36, and we go back to the June WTI for that, and its first CP is at 28.36, so it's got some upside if it can move and close over 26.05. But the area 25.17, 26.05 is a hurdle for it, and holding the 5-day moving average around 24.24 could be a challenge for it. And if it fails, do not be surprised by an attempt to move down to the 8-day. But again, the 5-day is an indicator of momentum. Brent is light on resistance. There isn't an awful lot of it around. If it was to move over 31.14, there's a reasonable chance of moving up to the 32.27 area where the 55-day moving average and the range level comes in. But after that, again, light till 34.53. Watch the 5-day around 30.33. It needs to hold, although it could easily be breached today, and the 8-day approached, which comes in around just south of $29. Heating oil put in a classic performance on Friday through the 5s here, down to the 8 to the cent. It missed it by 10 points and then rallied. So long as it stays above the 5 around 87.16 area, it's in good shape. It needs to move and close over 92.84, the 34-day moving average, this brown line here, to have some real upside. And you link that with TI, say between 25.17 and 26.05, and you can see where the resistance barriers are coming in. It's in good shape whilst it stays over the 5 and 8s, and it's doing that at the moment. RBOB, a traditional market leader, needs to be watched carefully. It's got a pivot at 96.48, which is the recent high. We're printing 95.68. If we can move and close over 96.48, it's basically green lighting further strength, which would probably be felt across the rest of the board, i.e. the other contracts, and take us higher. We need to get over the 96.48 pivot, the recent high. Once we do that, the slightly longer term target would be 107.57. In other words, there's some serious upside here. So watch this 96.48 level carefully. It wasn't weak enough to test the 5-day on Friday, but that 5-day comes in today around 92.37, 92.40 area. 9240 area, and so long as that holds, it's okay. If it was to breach the 5-day, then it is in danger of moving lower further, and quite a big move down to the 8-day, which is around 8750 area. So watch the 5-day as a pivot on the upside, and the 9648 level as a key resistance pivot over there, and it's flagging strength. June gas oil, and I repeat, we're on to the June gas oil, the right-hand chart here. It's okay, it's above the 5 and 8-day moving averages, it held the 5 on the dip, and now it needs to safely negotiate this 35-day moving average around 276.25 to 50 area. If it can do that, it's got some upside, probably to around the 315 level or the 55-day moving average. In other words, it's got some upside potential if it can take out the 34-day. So the key now is the ebb and flow to this morning. We could easily move back to the 5-day moving averages and hopefully hold. If we don't hold, then it's susceptible to a move to the 8-day, and watch heat particularly in this case, because if it went back to the 8-day and held, it would be a signal for the rest. And watch RBOB at 9648, a critical pivot for moving higher. The market is poised to move higher, but it needs the final nudge to take out some key resistance. Notably, RBOB at 9648, WTI 2517, then on up to 2605, and the rest really haven't got strong resistance that could negatively impact the move higher. In other words, it looks like we're going to put that resistance under pressure at some point, but watch for the early dip. Now, if we just look at some structure, deck red deck slipped below the 5-day. Now, it's often the job of the deck red decks to give an early warning signal. Now, if it slides below the 5, that's an early warning signal that potentially the flat price might do the same. And it's got so long as it holds the 8-day at minus 444, it's okay, but it's really just losing its momentum higher initially. And Brent is not very different. It slipped below its 5-day at minus 426. It's got an 8-day at minus 468. That's fine, but both the deck red decks are suggesting that the flat price might do a dip down to through the 5s down to the 8s. It's not confirmed yet, but it's a little bit of an early warning signal. So watch the 5 and 8s on both the deck red decks. That's all for today, folks. Good luck, good trading, and bon appetit.